you looked at my account today, you think I'd be panicking. I'm currently unemployed. My rent is due in about 2 weeks. I've got credit card payments in about a week. And my portfolio is, well, bleeding out. But here's the thing. I haven't sold a single share. I haven't rolled any positions. I'm actually exactly where I want to be. While the market is screaming, I'm just waiting for my trap to snap. Welcome to Slow Pro Capital. If you're new here, which all of you are, I'm John. I'm currently unemployed. I'm surviving on state checks, and I'm building a hedge fund from my bedroom using the quote-unquote Slow Pro methodology. We don't chase pumps here. We don't gamble on zero date to expiration options. We act as stewards of our own capital because no one is coming to save us. Today I want to talk about why your safe money is in danger, why the 4.5% yield everyone loves is a trap, and how I'm using the war between Donald Trump and Jerome Powell to manufacture my own paycheck, even on days when my portfolio looks like a crime scene. I used to be a banker. I sat across the desk from people, talked to people every day, millionaires, thousandaires. Everybody made the same mistake. They would park their cash in a CD or a savings account paying 4.5% and think they were winning. They thought it was risk-free. It's not. We could talk about federal income tax, state tax, real inflation. The real return is basically zero. The math that they don't tell you, the math that they didn't do, is that the 4.5% gets eaten by federal taxes, then state taxes. Most people don't even know treasuries exist to avoid the state tax. By the time you account for inflation, your purchasing power is flat. You aren't growing, you're just slowly dying. Let's say you start off with a $10,000 deposit. You have $450 in yield, $99 gets taken out in federal tax, $40 gets taken out in state tax, and accounting for inflation, let's say $300 eats up your total value. Once again, you aren't growing, you're just slowly dying. We are in 2026. The king, Trump, is at war with the bank, the Fed. Trump wants rates at a zero to boost the economy before midterms. He is roaring at Jerome Powell with probes, federal indictments. When the king wins, and he usually does, he essentially wants the 4.5% yield to just vanish. If you're relying on the bank to pay you, you're about to get a pay cut. So I made a choice. I stopped being the depositor. I became the insurance company. Since the bank won't pay me risk-free yield anymore, I have to manufacture it. I sell fear insurance to Wall Street. This is what I'm currently doing. It's called the wheel strategy, but I use different lenses to pick my own stocks. I use the Gorilla lens, the Mad Men lens. I'll dedicate different videos to explaining the way that I pick out my stocks. But for example, let's take SoFi. I don't mind owning this bank at all. Fintech growth is pretty huge, and at least coming from a brick and mortar retail bank, the online space is pretty good. Instead of buying the stock at 27, I'm comfortable holding this position, agreeing to buying the stock at 26. My position is saying, for taking that risk, the market pays me cash today, and that cash is hitting my account immediately. That's my risk. That is my yield. If the stock stays flat, I keep the money. If it drops, I buy the stock I wanted anyway at a discount. I don't just sell and pray though. I also set up traps. So I do have an order placed to buy my position back in. If we look at American Airlines, it did tank 1.5% today. Most people would panic, but I already have a limit order sitting at 16 cents. If the panic subsides and the price bounces, my trap snaps. I exit with 50%, and I never even touched my mouse. I let the algorithm work for me. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the red. Today, NU Holdings dropped below my strike. SoFi is down. My portfolio looks like a disaster zone. The amateur in me would definitely hit the buy button to close these positions and stop the pain, but that's definitely how you stay poor. The slow pro in me knows that the 158 loss is just fugazi. It doesn't exist. The slow pro knows that this red number is fake. It's a phantom loss. It's volatility. I still have 37 days left on my expiration. I have 37 days for this storm to pass. I'm an insurance company during a hurricane. The house is shaking, but the roof is still on. I'm not rolling. I'm not selling. I'm holding the line because my thesis hasn't changed. Only the price has. The world is really noisy right now. The president is yelling. The Fed is scared. Well, yeah, he did release a hostage video, so he's pretty much scared. It's tough. But Proverbs 19:12 says, "The king's wrath is like a roaring lion, but his favor is like dew on the grass. While everyone is distracted by the roar, I'm just here to catch the dew." Slow is pro. I want to share a bit of wisdom today. You don't have to stick around for the rest, but I will be reading the daily proverb, chapter 14. Today is the 14th as the day of this recording. I will be uploading on Friday, so you can read the proverb for the day on that day, the 16th. But for today, we will be reading the 14th. It says, "The wisest of women builds her house, but folly with her own hands tears it down. Whoever walks in uprightness fears the Lord, but he who is devious in his ways despises him. By the mouth of a fool comes a rod for his back, but the lips of the wise will preserve them. Where there are no oxen, the manager is clean, but abundant crops come by the strength of the ox. A faithful witness does not lie, but a false witness breathes out lies. A scoffer seeks wisdom in vain, but knowledge is easy for a man of understanding. Leave the presence of a fool, for there you do not meet words of knowledge. The wisdom of the prudent is to discern his way, but the folly of fools is deceiving. Fools mock at the guilt offering, but the upright enjoy acceptance. The heart knows its own bitterness, and no stranger shares its joy. The house of the wicked will be destroyed, but the tent of the upright will flourish. There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death. Even in laughter, the heart may ache, and the end of joy may be grief. The backslider in heart will be filled with the fruit of his ways, and a good man will be filled with the fruit of his ways. The simple believes everything, but the prudent gives thought to his steps. One who is wise is cautious and turns away from evil, but a fool is reckless and careless. A man of quick temper acts foolishly, and a man of evil devices is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. The evil bow down before the good, the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor is disliked even by his neighbor, but the rich has many friends. Whoever despises his neighbor is a sinner. But blessed is he who is generous to the poor. Do they not go astray who devise evil? Those who devise good meet steadfast love and faithfulness. In all toil there is profit, but mere talk tends only to poverty. The crown of the wise is their wealth, but the folly of fools bring folly. A truthful witness saves lives, but one who breathes out lies is deceitful. In the fear of the Lord one has strong confidence, and his children will have a refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, that one may turn away from the snares of death. In a multitude of people is the glory of a king, but without people a prince is ruined. Whoever is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who has hasty temper exalts folly. A tranquil heart gives life to the flesh, but envy makes the bones rot. Whoever oppresses a poor man insults his maker, but he who is generous to the needy honors him. The wicked is overthrown through his evil doing, but the righteous finds refuge in his death. Wisdom rests in the heart of a man of understanding, but it makes itself known even in the midst of fools. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is reproach to any people. A servant who deals wisely has the king's favor, but his wrath falls on one who acts shamefully. This is the word. See you on the markets.